Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So something I've been keeping kind of on the down low for a little while is that myself and some of the other Regal Racing boys are going to be entering a year-long endurance championship. We're going to be racing in the Sim Racing Mania endurance series. It's basically one event a month for the next year, which sounds like a massive commitment, and to be fair, it is. But um, I'm anticipating it being an awful lot of fun, and I can't wait to get started. Their test event, so basically to kind of check all the systems, make sure the server works, make sure everybody's got all the right cars and packs and things like that, is on Sunday. So I'm going to be streaming that. What you can see in front of you at the moment is the Cadillac DPI car that we're going to be driving. This is something we've done a little bit of testing with, and hopefully it will do us proud. So, of course, this championship is in R Factor 2. R Factor 2 is a new game to me. It's not a new game, but it's a new game to me, so it's a bit of a steep learning curve in terms of setup and stuff like that. Obviously, I spend most of my time in AC and ACC. So we're going to take the car out into the practice server and just have a little drive around, just feel the car out and see how it feels. Before we get into that content, if I could please just ask you to kind of think about hitting the subscribe button, and if you are enjoying the video, then hit the like button on the video below. So here we are in the practice server, the official practice server for this endurance series, and of course we are driving the Cadillac powered DPI car. It's got this wonderful V8 rumble as you drive around, and we're just going to do a few laps and just kind of feel the car out, and I'll kind of give you some thoughts on R Factor 2 from my point of view at this kind of real beginning point of getting into this game. So obviously R Factor 2 is one of those games that's fairly synonymous with endurance racing at the moment, having been the game that they chose to run the virtual Le Mans on, not iRacing, not kind of any other title, and that's basically because R Factor 2 was the only game which had a pre-existing kind of stock of cars available that would make the virtual Le Mans kind of feasible to run. But I think the only car they actually had to make for the virtual Le Mans was the Ferrari 488 GTE car, which obviously we've had to buy for this series as well. So I mean, you guys have all probably seen all the footage from Jimmy Broadbent and various other people. Actually, I'll pop Jimmy Broadbent's kind of video of the virtual Le Mans in the description below. From my point of view, R Factors took a little bit of time to get used to. The force feedback when I first jumped on it with my G920, which is kind of what I'm using at the moment, it felt a little bit wonky. It felt a little bit weird, and to be fair, for a 7-year-old game, I kind of expected that. It does feel an awful lot better now. I've done some tinkering. I've kind of fiddled about and kind of dialed in what I like and what I don't like, and kind of made sure that I am getting what I need out of the force feedback. But yeah, that does take a little bit of time to dial in, especially in terms of kind of, like I say, getting kind of the response of the wheels, and particularly actually for me it was locking the brakes. I would really struggled when I would hit the brakes initially, and they would be fully locked and scrubbing, and I would have absolutely no idea because the wheel would still be completely solid. So I had to go into my kind of profile in my Logitech software and actually fiddle about with a few settings in there to make it feel an awful lot better. In terms of content, R Factor is amazing, and to be fair, as the game that they ran the virtual Le Mans on, you kind of expect that. So this championship is, like I say, it's a year long, so it's going to be running over quite a few tracks. There's actually 12 rounds, I believe. So we're going to be visiting quite a few famous tracks and kind of places that you guys are going to recognise. So obviously those all have to be created in R Factor, and some of them are bought, some of them are kind of actual content that R Factor have made for the game, but also some of it is mods. So for example, Assetto Corsa being kind of unanimously known as the king of mods. Well, I think R Factor's a fairly close second. as we're just coming up on this GTE car in front, and I'm just going to give him a bit of space just because I'm not running kind of hot laps or anything like that, so I don't want to mess him up for his practice. Really, I don't need to be going past him. But yeah, like I say, going back to driving this prototype, so I jumped in this car for the first time, I think it was last night, properly, and just had a bit of a drive, and my initial thoughts are that it's very, very twitchy under brakes. You might see it in a sec, actually. Oh, no, we're okay. I'm not pushing too hard at the moment, but yeah, we're kind of not kind of struggling with it, but we're kind of having to get used to the fact that this car, you can't just nail the brakes and hammer the brakes. Having obviously coming from ACC, where pretty much every car's got traction control and ABS, like, you really have to be careful with these cars that you don't lock the front, or in fact, even worse, lock the rears, and it's essentially like someone's pulled the handbrake. So a few times I've come to do a flying lap, and I've tried to kind of brake for this chicane, and I've braked so hard that I've actually flicked the car around, just trying to stop the car. Obviously, I've kind of tinkered around with the setup a little bit. I do kind of help with the setups for all of the Regal racing cars, so I know a fair amount about setting cars up, or at least I like to think I know a fair amount. And like I say, I've found that R Factor is fairly realistic in the way that it runs. So for example, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, I've actually got this tyre display up deliberately, so that you can see the heat going through the tyres as I go through the corners. So 130R being a prime example. There you go, you can see that I'm actually putting an awful lot of heat through the kind of middle of the tyre, and basically what I was struggling with before was that I've actually got the tyres too far over in terms of camber, so they weren't actually running on the full contact patch. Oh, that was well too early then. And so I wasn't taking advantage of as much grip as the tyre was able to give me. So we kind of figured that out and dialed that out, and now the car feels an awful lot better. So yeah, in terms of kind of setups, maximum respect to the guys from R Factor 2. They've done an awesome job. The kind of sim feels great in terms of how much drivability and kind of what you can tinker with, and there is an awful lot to tinker with in the setup menu. You can pretty much change anything on these cars, so I've been well impressed with that. And yeah, like I say, I'm going to drop a link to the Sim Racing Mania Discord in the kind of description below if you want to come and get involved. I believe there's still a few spots left in the championship, and you've got a choice of either DPI cars, so Daytona prototypes, LMP2s essentially, or GTE. So most of you guys will be fairly familiar with GTE cars by now from kind of various different kind of series around the world, and kind of me talking about GT3 cars. So GTE cars are essentially GT3 cars just turned up a little bit more. So thank you very much to everybody for watching this video. I am going to be doing a stream of the test race on Sunday, so I'd love to see you guys there if you want to kind of come along, say hi in the chat, and we will be there for the entire race. I think the race starts at 6 o'clock UK time, so we'll be streaming from just before that, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see you then.